Sometimes heroes need someone to take them down a peg and remind them of what really matters, or what should really matter anyways. Welcome back, Nerd Squad, it's me, Amanda. Today we're here to talk about some of these moments as we count down the top 10 times heroes were put in their place. Again! On this part 2. Be sure to check out our part 1 and let us know in the comments what your favorite hero humbling moments are. Number 10. I will never forgive you for this. Really, there are 2 moments in here where Jon Johns aka Martian Manhunter puts Jon Stewart aka Green Lantern in his place, but I'm going to be focusing on just one for now. Maybe if we do a part 3 I'll gotta tell you about the other one. In this instance, Martian Manhunter was on a mission with Green Lantern. They went to Xanshi to find and disarm a device that threatened to destroy the planet. They managed to find it, but when Jon Stewart decided to go it alone, seeing Martian Manhunter as kind of dead weight, as someone who was slowing him down, he ended up making the biggest mistake of his life. When he finds the device, he is prepared to destroy it, assured that with his Green Lantern ring, nothing can stop him from doing so, only to find out that it has been completely painted yellow, his one weakness. Without enough time to think of a solution, the device goes off, destroying the planet and all the life on it. Later, amidst the wreckage in the vacuum of space, Jon, who is still alive thanks to the shield Green Lantern put around him, looks on in shame at Green Lantern. Thanks to your arrogance and stupidity, I have now seen 2 worlds die. I will never forgive you for this, says Martian Manhunter to Jon Stewart. And friends, before we move on to our next spot on this list, if you love what we do here at Top 10 Nerd, don't miss out on our content, be sure to click that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you can keep an eye on when we do more videos like this one. Number 9. See ya! I love this moment. Oh boy, what a wild one. Spider-Man definitely puts the X-Men in their place here. Although this is not intended to be a well-earned kind of take that moment, it definitely ends up as one. Really, this fight comes out of a miscommunication though. Had Spider-Man fully understood what and why the X-Men were thinking of leaving, he may have not behaved quite as rashly here. Although, then again, this is like earlier on in Spider-Man's life, so maybe he would've. The X-Men in Secret Wars were thinking of leaving where they were stationed near the Avengers and the Fantastic Four, because they felt they were not fully understood and accepted, being mutants. When Spider-Man was exploring and he stumbled upon them and overheard this plan, Professor X called out, sensing Spider-Man's presence, and was instantly slapped aside. While all the heroes call for Spider-Man to wait and listen before reporting their thoughts to the Avengers, he makes quick work of just about all of them, including Colossus, Wolverine, Rogue, Storm, Nightcrawler, and Cyclops, and all at once too. Embarrassing. Number 8. You are never anything more than a sheep in wolf's clothing. Yeah, Stephen Strange Jr. sure had it rough in the Ultimate Comics universe of Earth 1610. In his fight against Dormammu, he is handily put in his place as being the last and least of his line, which is pretty intense and honestly should be an ultimately unfair label, considering that while his father was absent for a good part of his life, his mother Clea, who is also an extremely gifted magic user and actually hails from the dark dimension, raised him. So you'd think he would know better how to handle Dormammu, but apparently not. After Dormammu calls him out for being the least of his line, he uses Strange Jr.'s own clothing to defeat him, wrapping him up so tightly that his head basically pops. Number 7. I was busy remembering to put on all my clothes. Oh boy! The feud between Kitty Pryde, aka Kate Pryde as she is now known, and Emma Frost is a long and involved one, and it reared its head once more in Astonishing X-Men issue number 1 from 2004. Kitty is asked to join the mutant school as a staff member and ends up being late on her first day. When Emma calls her out for this on stage and for making a dramatic entrance in front of the whole student body, Kitty responds by calling Emma out, saying, "I'm sorry, I was busy remembering to put on all my clothes." Emma's, always kind of sexily dressed, so I understand why Kitty would say this, but also, I mean, it's Emma Frost, that's how she do. I love how these 2 women constantly call each other out though, but then now they're like kind of BFFs. Pretty fun journey for them. Number 6. Aren't you wanted by the police? This is an Outlaws Anonymous. Ouch. This one hurts to go back and read. This comes to us from the first issue of Spider-Man. Well, just starting out here, there are a bunch of moments where both the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man are put in their place during their interaction with one another. First of all, Spider-Man, wanting to join the FF, sneaks into the Baxter building successfully and manages to prove his prowess by defeating the Fantastic Four single-handedly. Meanwhile, they put Spidey in his place when they find out he came looking for a job. One, they insult him for even trying to audition for their team in such an aggressive manner, while also being a wanted potential criminal, someone they would rather never associate with. at least not at this time. 2, they also let him know that they are a non-profit, so they don't actually make money, ridiculing him for even thinking that working for them would be considered a 9-to-5 style job in terms of the pay. Just a big ouch all around. Number 5, I actually think I just became dumber. After battling Korvac, Iron Man becomes the Iron God, and decides to use his newfound power to make the world better. With his newfound power cosmic putting him at God tier, Tony decides to start working his magic first over on Earth. He heads there and decides to grant a gift to all its human inhabitants, making all of them Stark-level geniuses. Most people are shocked by this, but when the Invisible Woman states that she doesn't feel any different and asks her husband, Reed Richards, if he does, he responds with, I actually think I just became dumber. Number 4, I will not go into battle beside someone I do not trust. Tower of Babel is a JLA story where Batman ends up being exposed as an untrustworthy member in the sense that he has plans for how all of his teammates could easily be taken out, keeping records and downright foolproof plans of what to do should they turn to the dark side. This secret is exposed when Ra's al Ghul gets his hands on said plans and uses them. Not only that, but he also almost finds a way to completely derail Batman himself, exploiting his weakness, the loss of his parents, so that he can do nothing to stop him. In the end, the League are able to rise up and beat Ra's, but they are left with the decision of what to do with Batman. Ultimately, they decide to put him in his place by kicking him off the team. Number 3, and this is what I can do. This one will make you cry, so be warned. In issue number 76 of Superman/Batman, Dick Grayson has taken up his father, Bruce Wayne's, role as Batman after his apparent death fighting against Darkseid. Now, of course, we'd later learn that Batman didn't actually die, but at the time everyone thought he was dead. After losing his own father, Superman, aka Clark Kent, confronts Dick and tells him he has to take the Batsuit off and give it up. Let Batman go. However, Dick pushes back, telling Clark that he knows he's hurting and he knows that they both miss their fathers, but that being Batman is something that he simply has to do. I know you lost your father and you're angry. You can do anything in the world. Can't bring them back. I lost my father too, and this is what I can do. Number 2, which stage of grieving is this? 2004's Astonishing X-Men issue number 1 is full of moments where the X-Men get in each other's faces, including maybe the greatest one, which actually stands out as one of the biggest feud moments ever in all of X-Men history besides, when Wolverine calls out Cyclops for being with Emma Frost so soon after Jean Grey's death. One of her deaths. Anyways, Wolverine, who is also a member of the staff at the school but was absent from the first day of orientation, makes his first appearance perched on the end of Emma and Scott's bed the morning after. He wakes them up by asking, "So tell me, which stage of grieving is this? Denial?" Which of course prompts Psyche to optic blast him out the window. Talk about a start to the school year. Also, I love how the staff have like more drama than the students. Number 1, I have nothing to say. Wolverine has been having it rough these days. Despite Krakoa being a virtual mutant paradise, he doesn't seem to be getting much of a vacation lately. During Lives and Deaths of Wolverine, he was forced to travel through time in an effort to protect mutant kind by safeguarding the life of Charles Xavier, their leader. And following that, he ended up being mind controlled by Beast, the head of X-Force, who deemed this action necessary for getting the dirtiest of jobs done, since Wolverine without mind control was of course less inclined to obey his orders, and actually I believe even wanted to leave the team. Beast saw this as a necessary evil to protect Krakoa, but once Wolverine was free, he decided it was time to put Beast in his place for all his evil deeds, for once and for all. And honestly, if any hero deserves it lately, it is Hank. He's been traveling farther and farther down a dark path since even before the days of Krakoa. Finally, his treachery came to an end, at least it did for now, after Wolverine took his life in issue number 30 of his own series, with Beast's last words being, "I have nothing to say." That's about it. Until next time, you stay nerdy, YouTube.